What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 66 of Thoughts and Hunches, Making Money in Bunches and Sucker Punches. Your boy Stoney is back for the 66th time on Final Four weekend, and I'd like to welcome my fellow hoodlums, lowlife, scumbags, hustlers, cheats, fienders, degenerates to STONIE'S Season 2, episode number 33. You're all back because I made so much money for you throughout the season that with this video and the one that I'm going to post in about 48 hours are the last two videos of the season, of season number 2. That's it for the STONIE'S for this year. We're going to start fresh again, season 3, in August or September, the week of college football's week 1. That's when we're going to be back. It's been a great ride. It's been an absolutely great ride this season. My best season so far. If you go back to my blogging days, where I blogged for 6 years, and add on these two, clearly my best season, 60.83% total overall. The number 60% is just kind of everywhere. It's like frightening. But first of all, let's go over the numbers, okay? Last week, wound up going 5-7, okay? Obviously not too good. 4-4 in the NCAAs. We went 1-3 against the number, right? I took all 4 underdogs, and the only one that hit was Villanova in the first game. The next 3 were all covered by favorites, and they were pretty much blowouts and easy covers by the favorites. But I did go 3-1 in the totals. So that made up for that and went 4-4 in the NCAAs. Then went 1-3 in the NIT semis to wind up 5-7. What are you going to do? Losing week. Doesn't happen, right? First losing week in a while, right? So NCAA postseason numbers. Now we're going to go down all the numbers. NCAA, just this tournament, postseason numbers. 70 wins, 45 losses, 1 push. That's 60.87%. You're going to start seeing a theme here. Total postseason. That's if you include NCAA conference tournament week and if you include the NITs. 90 wins, 58 losses, 3 pushes, 60.81%. NCAA regular season, which ended a while ago, 176 wins, 131 losses, 1 push, 60.9%. NFL playoffs, 14-12. That was our lowest number, 53.85%. NFL regular season, 151 wins, 85 losses. This was our highest percentage, 63.98%, which was blasted everybody out of the building. Bowl games, 45 wins, 27 losses, 62.5%. NCAA football regular season, 137 wins, 100 losses, 2 pushes, 57.8%. Add them all up, including MLB playoffs, which we dropped on you. Grand total, 618 wins, 398 losses, 6 pushes. That's good for 60.83%. That's just under 61% in over 1,000 picks that I've given you for free this season, season 2 of STONIE'S. I mean, 1,000 picks at 60%? Ridiculous, right? If you haven't been riding with me, then you haven't been making money. If you've been fading me, then you've been losing money, right? With the exception of the last 2 weeks, especially last week. So we're here. We're at the Final Four. Tomorrow is Final Four Saturday, the national semifinals taking place down in New Orleans. It's going to be fantastic. Final Four Saturday is an event. This tournament has been fantastic, and with all the runs of Cinderellas everywhere you look, and what a great tournament, and any one of 12 teams can win, or 15 teams, however many you said at the start of this tournament. Look who's left, the 4 Blue Bloods. Like I kept saying all along, once you get to the Sweet 16 and the Final 8, It's time to weed out the Cinderellas. It's been nice. You guys had a nice run, St. Peter's. Very nice, good run, fantastic story. But now it's for the big boys. And the 4 teams left are all blue bloods. They're all big boys with multiple national championships. Y'all ready? Here we go. Tomorrow, Saturday, 6:09 p.m. Eastern Time. Top-seeded Kansas out of the Midwest, 4.5-point favorites over second-seeded Villanova out of the South. Kansas comes in at 32-6. Nova comes in at 30-7. Both teams have won 9 straight. Kansas in the Midwest region, they got here with wins over Texas Southern, Creighton, Providence, and Miami. Only 2-2 against the number, right? Tough team, solid team, always sort of plays to the level of their competition, doesn't have a lot of big blowouts, played in the rough and tumble Big 12, which was probably the best tournament the best conference this season. I thought the Big 10 was, but the Big 12 proved that they're the best conference. Now, Carolina and Duke will tell you, no, it's not true. ACC is, but let's face it, the ACC was a train wreck this year, right? Except for the tournament. They got hot in the tournament. So Kansas, no doubt, has earned their spot here, right? They've won 9 in a row, like I said, and their offense starts with Ochai Agbaji. He's a Wooden Award finalist. He's averaging just under 19 points a game. 96 three-pointers this year. Big 12 Player of the Year. The accolades just keep coming in. He'll be in the association in a couple months. That's a lock. You know, that's going to happen. But what happened with Kansas is they got Remy Martin. And Remy Martin transferred in from Arizona State last year, where he was a stud at Arizona State, came in to Kansas as a backup. He's still a backup, 6th man. Hasn't scored 20 points in one game this season until the tournament. Scored 20 twice in the tournament. Right? That was good enough to get him the most outstanding player of the Midwest region. Remy can score, he can dribble, he can distribute, but most importantly, what he does, he provides leadership and he breaks down the defense and gets inside, forcing the defense to make a choice as to whether or not guard him, block the shot, watch out for the pass. You got to kind of do everything when Remy Martin's got it going, and he's absolutely got it going right now. Center David McCormick, big man, big stud, always seems to show up in big games. Doesn't put up huge numbers, right? But he's just a rock in there. Just under 11 points a game, 6 rebounds a game. He's been battling a sore foot, and this is going to be a big story for them because Kansas might look deep and might go 8 or 9 deep, but they only really run a rotation of about 7 guys, right? With Remy Martin getting the majority of the numbers off the bench. So keep an eye on David McCormick's foot and see how that's progressing leading up to the game. 78 points a game for these Jayhawks. They can score. There's absolutely no doubt about it. They shoot at 47.8% from the field. Those are just lights out numbers. Their defense is good, not great, but good and solid. And they're going to try to force tempo. They're going to try to get Villanova out of their comfort zone. They're going to push the ball up and down the court and do whatever they can to force the pace. Bill Self, the head coach, again, excellent coach. He's won a national championship. He's only won one, and it was 14 years ago. And his teams always seem to be there. They always seem to be in the mix. Lifetime in the NCAA tournament, Bill Self is 0-2 versus Villanova. That's interesting. They lost to Villanova in the Final Four in 2018. 95-79. So And they lost again in another tournament game. So Kansas lost twice during the Bill Self regime against Jay Wright. Now, Jay Wright, on the other hand, Villanova, they're 30-7. They won the South region with wins over Delaware, Ohio State, Michigan, and Houston, where they went 3-1 against the spread, played outstanding, and seemed to get better and better and better. Now, like I said, they've won 9 in a row, just like Kansas. And just like Kansas, they won their conference tournament as well. Kansas, the Big 12, Nova with the Big East. Now, the big story all week long is Justin Moore. If you saw the highlight, the video, it was pretty ugly. Justin Moore tore his Achilles last Sunday, and he's out. Now, in no way is this good, because Justin Moore is the second leading scorer on the team, just under 15 points a game. He's their best defender. He always defends the best player on the opposing team. So losing Justin Moore is a crushing blow to Villanova. But because it's the NCAA tournament, because it's the Final Four, I don't want to say it works to their advantage, but it helps the fact that Villanova's had all week to get Caleb Daniels in, right? Caleb Daniels is the guy who's coming off the bench now that's going to take Justin Moore's spot, not only to get him in, but to get him acclimated and to get the other starters acclimated to defend with Caleb Daniels. Because what you got to understand is Villanova's defense is their calling card. It's what they do. It's what they're known for. They're tough. They're physical. They switch. They communicate. They do everything unbelievably properly on defense. They rebound. They force turnovers. And losing their best defender is going to be a blow. But Caleb Daniels is solid. Now, a couple guys, Villanova doesn't go deep. Villanova was a 7-deep team anyway. Well, now they're going to need, Archie Diacono and other players off the bench who are going to get expanded minutes without Justin Moore, and they're going to have to step up. Not only them, but the other starters are also going to have to step up. And when I'm talking about the other starters, starts with Colin Gillespie. Last year, All-American. This year, second team All-American. One of the most cerebral players you'll ever see. Defensively, offensively, he communicates, he delivers, he passes the ball well. He just doesn't turn the ball over. He never misses a free throw, and he leads the team in three-point shooting. So Colin Gillespie is the guy. Big East Player of the Year, right? No surprise there. Jermaine Samuels, on the other hand, stepped up in the South region, and he's been unbelievable. He wound up the most outstanding player in the South region, and he's one of those hybrid players that can guard three positions or players for Kansas. So Samuels is tough. He's tough to guard, and he's the inside presence, Gillespie's the outside presence. That's just a dangerous team. Villanova makes three-pointers. They are about to break the all-time record of free throw shooting percentage at 83% for the season, which they've shot 86% in the tournament. So you can't get behind them in the second half. You get behind them, it's over. But even in a close game, they're going to step up, they're going to make their free throws, and they're going to keep the game close. Their defense, like I said, it's top-notch, but this is their calling card. Three-pointers and free throws on offense, and just a lockdown defense. And they're going to be put to the test because Kansas has the superior athletes and the higher rated recruits. They get the better players. But the better players don't always win. Jay Wright, third Final Four in the last 6 years for Villanova. He's won twice. He won in 16 and he won in 18. And they beat Kansas in the Final Four in 18, like I said. If Villanova wins this game and goes on to win on Monday night to win their third national championship in 6 years, is it a dynasty? 3-6? When's the last time anyone's done that? That's what I want to know, Elias Sports Bureau. And still, yet nobody talks about them when you talk about a traditional power, right? Or even a blue blood. I do. I always have. I've always considered Villanova. The knock on Jay Wright the first 10 years of his tenure in Philadelphia was, well, he's fine. He does really well. He gets his team in the tournament every year, but they can't win in the tournament. They can't get done. Well, that's been dispelled. In the last 6 years, Villanova's 20-3 in the NCAA tournament. Crazy. Just stupid numbers. So add it all up, and you've got two outstanding teams, two outstanding coaches, and here's where I think the biggest difference is. And this is taking everything into consideration, as including and especially including Justin Moore's injury. With 5 days to prepare or 6 days to prepare, I like Bill Self, but I love Jay Wright. I just think Jay Wright is going to give more wrinkles. He's going to give Kansas everything they can handle. Kansas may win this game, and I don't doubt it, and I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm taking Nova and the 4.5, and don't be shocked if Nova wins it. It's very possible, right? Be surprised, but not shocked. Take the 4.5. Take Villanova plus the 4.5. And if you're taking Nova, you got to take the under. Take under 34.5. If this game's played into the 70s by both teams, you bet your bottom dollar Kansas wins, right? And covers. If this game stays in the 60s, that's a Nova type of game. And that's where we see it. Take Nova plus 4.5, under 134.5. There you go. There's your first national semifinal. 8:49 p.m. Eastern Time is the scheduled tip time, but we all know it's about a half hour after the first game ends. And national semifinal number 2 for the 258th time, but the first time in the NCAA tournament. Number 2 seeded West Region champion Duke is 4.5-point favorites over 8 seeded East Region champ North Carolina. Duke comes in at 32-6. Carolina comes in at 28-9. Duke, Carolina. If you buy into that, you buy into that. If you hate them, you really hate them. You hate them both. And there's no two teams in the country that are more polarizing than these two, because they have their share of fans, but they have a lot of their share of detractors too. So Duke comes in 4.5-point favorites, right? Again, 258th time. In Mike Krzyzewski's career, in the 42 seasons he's been at Duke, Duke is 50-49 versus North Carolina. And this is the 100th meeting. That just goes to show how even this rivalry is. Now, again, like I said, 258th meeting, first time ever in the Final Four. Or in the tournament. Forget about the Final Four, just in the tournament. What would a Red Sox fan give to beat the Yankees in a Game 7 if they'd never played in the playoffs before? Or Giant fans, Dodger fans, blah, 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 back and forth, right? Michigan, Ohio State, right? All the great rivalries that you can think of. This is crazy, because winning this one And winning the title is a huge deal. But what if you win this game and then lose the title game on Monday night to either Kansas or Villanova? Where do you stand then? Especially if you're Duke and you lose on Monday night in what will be Mike Krzyzewski's last game if they win on Saturday. Now, if you're Carolina, you just beat Mike Krzyzewski twice in the course of a couple weeks or a month, but you didn't win the title. So you got to think of it from both ends. Duke, the West Regional champs. Let's get into the numbers. Duke, the West Regional champs, got here by virtue of wins over Cal State Fullerton, a tough win over a very game Michigan State team. Same thing against Texas Tech and Arkansas. They're 3-1 against the number in this tournament. The only time they didn't cover was against Fullerton in the first round. Now, after that first round game with Michigan State, Texas Tech, and Arkansas, especially Michigan State and Texas Tech in the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight, both those teams had Duke on the ropes late in the game. We'll say with 10 minutes or less to play in the game. And Duke made the big shots when it counted. Now, against Arkansas, they came out. They had a big halftime lead. Arkansas came out in the second half, cut it to 5. Duke called a timeout, went on a 10-0 run, and the game was over once they got up by 15. They wound up winning by 9. They still covered. Now, Duke shot an ungodly 70% in the second half down the stretch, or just in the second half against Texas Tech. That doesn't happen. It just doesn't. They've been very impressive, right? They had to overcome the 13-point loss at home to North Carolina in Mike Krzyzewski's final regular season game at Cameron Indoor, right? It's their 17th Final Four. It's the 13th for Coach K, which is a record. He's got 5 titles. We know that, right? And Paolo Banchero has been everything that we thought he was and is coming into this tournament, right? He's had a fantastic freshman year. He'll be in the association in a couple of months. And while he may not wow you and score 30, it's because he doesn't have to. He's got help. Now, they're all freshmen, it seems like. But Banchero's the guy. He's the main guy. He's 6'10". He can get his shot off of anybody. He's shooting well from downtown. He's smart. He rebounds. And he's going to be the guy that is causing Hubert Davis to stay up late these nights. Now, you add Wendell Moore. You had Mark Williams. You had Trevor Keels and A.J. Griffin. And these guys, there's more NBA players there that I just named than all of Carolina's team. Duke is NBA ready. Their players are NBA ready. They don't want Mike Krzyzewski to go out on a losing note. They understand that. They get it. They're now part of history. They can win, and they can send him off on that right note while he retires and they leave and go on to the NBA and make their millions. Well, in order to do that, they're going to have to cover 4.5. Well, they're only going to have to win, but in this case, they're going to have to cover 4.5 against their bitter, hated rival, the champions of the East region. North Carolina got here with wins over Marquette, blowout. Baylor, who they were blowing out until Baylor came back, tied it, sent it to overtime, and then Carolina took over from there. They beat UCLA in the Sweet 16 in a game where they were down with 2 minutes left, but Caleb Love turned it into Michael Jordan, and they beat UCLA, and then they beat St. Pete in a game that wasn't even a game, and most people had turned off at halftime on Sunday when Carolina was up by 20. So they're 4-0 to the number in this tournament. They've been underdogs twice, and they've won as dogs twice to UCLA and to Baylor. They had to overcome the 20-point home loss on February 5th that Duke hung on them. And they did it. They returned the favor with the win in Cameron exactly 1 month to the day later. Now, we'll almost be 1 month to the day since that game happened. Isn't it crazy? It seems like it just happened. Well, it was a month ago. This is North Carolina's third Final Four in the last 6 years. You don't really think about that, but yeah, it is. They lost the national championship game to Villanova in 2016. In 2017, they made it all the way to the national championship game again for the second straight year, and they won. They beat Gonzaga in 2017. So this is their third one. Now, their three-headed monster on offense, Armando Bacot, Brady Manick, and Caleb Love, are studs. All three of those guys are NBA bound. Brady Manick is a streaky shooter who doesn't defend. He's going to be tasked with guarding Paolo Banchero. Well, him and some help, because Bacot is not quick enough to guard Banchero, and Bacot has to stay out of foul trouble. Manick, if he tries to guard Banchero, will get used, because Manick is just not nearly fast enough to slow down Banchero, and Banchero can score at will against him. Offensively, Carolina has the weapons, and they have they have a better chance of scoring on Duke's defense than Duke does against Carolina's defense. Now, neither team plays great defense here. Neither one. But they both play defense when they have to. And that's a huge, huge prop here. Hubert Davis is in his first year as head coach. Is he going to get jitters? He's played in the Final Four as a player, right? And he's following Dean Smith and Roy Williams. So he's, got some really, really large shoes to fill, but he's done a fantastic job in getting his team there. The question is, do they have enough to beat Duke? Absolutely they do. Can they? Not sure. Will they? Not sure. 4.5. Yes, sir. I'm going to take North Carolina, the dog. Both dogs, plus 4.5. You would have thought I learned my lesson last week. Bet against the favorites. I got stung. This week, 2 more dogs. Carolina and Nova, plus 4.5 both ways. And under 151.5. In a big building like this, the Superdome, they're expecting 70 to 75,000 people there. It's huge. Shooting becomes a little bit of a hassle. Duke doesn't shoot the three as much as you might think they do. They do, and they're accurate, but they don't shoot it that much. Not as much as Carolina does. Carolina, between Love and Manick alone, they'll just keep hoisting and hoisting and hoisting all night long. I like Carolina here. Can they do it? Can they be the team that sends Coach K out to retirement? Doing that would be the ultimate slap in the face to Duke as their number one most hated rival. Carolina can do it. Will they do it? That remains to be seen. Now, again, you're more than welcome to take them on the money line, right? That's going to take a big brass set to do that, to bet against Duke on the money line. But again, I like Carolina here, plus 4.5, under 51.5. There's your 2 picks, 2 dogs, 2 unders. What else is new? It's what Stoney does. So that's it for this Stoney Cast number 66. Make sure to tune back in Sunday. I will have the final Stoney Cast of the season. Season 3, again, like I said, will literally kick off in August or September, the first week of college football season, and the week before the NFL gets underway. It's how we do it. I'm kind of like a teacher. I get summers off. So I'm not going to give any picks, because what's going to happen as soon as this game, as soon as Monday night's over, the national championship, what do you got? MLB, opening day, starts next week. Long 6-month season of baseball, right? If you're betting daily on baseball, again, you've got a big brass set. I can't do that. I can bet on baseball during the playoffs, but not on a Tuesday afternoon when Toronto's playing Milwaukee. I just can't do it. No way. You also have the NBA and the NHL for those of you that are into that, right? If you're into the NBA, then it's starting in about a week or two. The third season, the first season is the off season, the second season is the regular season, and the third season is the marathon 3-month postseason, which just seems to go on and on and on. More than half the league makes the playoffs. The NBA, what are you going to do? Wake me up when they get to the conference finals. Until then, please don't even bring them up, which is why I don't talk about them here on the STONIE'Cast. It's unnecessary. So enjoy your NBA, enjoy your NHL, enjoy your Major League Baseball. Make sure to come back on Sunday. I'll give you the winners for the national championship game on Monday night. Until then, make sure to remember the 5 following things. If you want to win big, you got to bet big. Scared money don't make money. To me, the action is the juice. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored, and good luck to you.